Mr. Bundy, if this was going to go upside down, you were going to be attacked. I suspect this is probably get a place as any. That didn't happen. Give us respect for that. I can't commit to sheriff or law enforcement, but you came in here peaceful, and you're going to leave peaceful as best I can tell. Don't stop. I'll get you in my pickup. I'll drive you wherever you want to go. I don't care if it's Utah. I'll take you there. But go home, will you? We got families.
These people have stood up here. There's representatives in Washington, representatives in Oregon. They all think it's unjust. And that is the elephant in this room. And instead of talking about who needs to go home, we need to start talking about who needs to come home. Who needs And I'm sorry, I'm getting mad, but I am sick of this. I am sick of this. Do you realize how selfish we are? Every single one of us, me included. This has been heck on me. I haven't enjoyed this. But what about Susie Hammond? What about Dwight and Stephen Hammond, who are in a prison cell? Has anybody thought about what they're going through? And we're talking about our rights being violated. Think about their rights. Susie was on Lou Dogs last night. Lou Dogs asked, has any one of your representatives called you to talk to you? I want to ask you three gentlemen right there, have any one of you called Susie Hammond since her husband and her son have been sent back to prison, or Erlinda Hammond, whose family is torn apart? Have any one of you called them?
At the heart of the protest, however, is Dwight Hammond Jr. and his son Stephen Hammond. And 2 weeks ago, today, they surrendered to federal authorities after a judge ordered they finish out a mandatory 5-year sentence for burning some brush on a federal land, about 130 acres. It is, in my judgment, a pure-out effort by the federal government and a politicized Justice Department and an out-of-control Bureau of Land Management agency to simply crush a family and to do so in utter violation of everything this country stands for. Joining us to talk about it is the wife of Dwight Hammond and the mother of Stephen Hammond, Susan Hammond. Has anybody from your congressional delegation, any one of the two senators from your state, called you to say, what can we do to help to make this right?
No, they haven't.
I have to say, I'm just stunned. And the community seems like it is, it's been poleaxed. They're stunned, and they don't seem to know what to do. Yet, two members of your family are in prison because they did a backfire, set a backfire on your ranch land and the federal land that you had grazing rights to. Which, as Congressman Greg Walden has said, you know, ranchers do that all the time, and sometimes it's the BLM doing it and not notifying the owner when they do a backfire on private property. I mean, how do you feel about the lack of justice in this case?
It's nothing new. That's how it is when you live out in the far lands of eastern Oregon, when the majority of the land is government land and a majority of the people work for the government.
I know the Hammonds. I've known them for probably close to 20 years. They're longtime responsible ranchers in Harney County. They have been sentenced to prison, not once, but now twice. I've had the great honor and privilege to represent Harney County for a number of years. I have seen the impact of federal policies from the Clinton administration to the Obama administration. I have seen what happens when overzealous bureaucrats and agencies go beyond the law and clamp down on people. I have seen what courts have done.
Go home, will you? Go home, will you? Go home, will you?
And instead of talking about who needs to go home, we need to start talking about who needs to come home.
The Hammonds are a wonderful people. They are salt of the earth. I can't say enough about how good a people they are. I wish everybody could go out there and they could see and spend time with Dwight and Susie, spend time with Stephen, and see how humble and how good a people they are. See how they love ranching, that they love the earth. See how they care about their neighbors and how their neighbors talk about them. These are good people.
We're out here because the people have been abused long enough, really. Their lands and their resources have been taken from them to the point where it's putting them literally in poverty. If we do not do something, if we do not make a hard stand, that we will be in a position where we won't be able to as a people.
Our purpose, as we have shown, is to restore and defend the Constitution, that each person in this country can be protected by it, and that prosperity can continue. We love our country. We love the people in it. We know that we are struggling to be able to know what to do as a nation, and in many ways we are dividing, and we hope that we can restore those things, and that we can unite as a people in protecting individuals, that we will not forget about how important each person is, and how that person has the right to live here on this earth, and has the right to live in liberty, and has the right to own property, and to be able to reap the fruits of their labors. As many of you may know, this effort, if you will, started by understanding that a ranching family here in Harney County has been put under duress by multiple federal agencies. That those agencies have desired for many years to acquire their ranch, and that the Hammond family have refused to sell it because they want to pass on the ranching heritage to their children and to their grandchildren. And because of that refusal to sell their ranch, these federal agencies began an attack on this family. The Hammond family has experienced their private waters being fenced off by federal agencies even after the state of Oregon ruled that it was their waters. They have been restricted from their private property through the refuge here, going to their private properties through road closures and fences and gates, even after it was determined that the road was owned by the county of Harney. They have multiple times refused the purchase of it, and because of that have been prosecuted for actions that ranchers have done for over 100 years in this county, and in this valley, and for protecting their private property. And these things are what this is about. That because we have allowed our federal government to step outside the bounds of the Constitution, they have come down upon the people and are prosecuting them now directly. They are coming down into the states and taking over the land and the resources, putting the people into duress, putting the people into poverty.
Go home, will you? Go home, will you? Go home, will you?
If we do not do something, if we do not make a hard stand, that we will be in a position where we won't be able to as a people.